Reading for the week. So what do we have today? Actually, I'm feeling called to use a bit of a different deck for the energy of the week. We're gonna start with me tapping into the energy of the collective. Hi, Olivia Pighawk. Hi, Chris Correa. Hola, ¿cómo estás, amiga? Mi crececito tan bonito. I'm posting my Venmo, so anyone that wants to tip a bitch can tip a bitch. Ok, todo bien, qué bueno, qué bueno. Nos vemos este sabadito. Este sabadito nos vamos a ver, Chris, para hacer la pasarela. Ella, mi amiga, la de la pasarela. Alright, so we're going to start with Beyond Lemuria Oracle cards for the energy of this week. I feel like this is going to tell us a lot of the energy, the lesson, the point of the week, right? We're only going to do this because these are very intense cards, and as much as I make fun of Oracle readers sometimes, I do feel like that a lot of Oracle cards have a lot of substance. They're just not as, you would need a lot of Oracle decks to make up for what your good old Rider White has to offer, right? But I do feel like these cards have a lot of substance to it, so we're only going to do one, okay? God, allow me to connect to the energy of the collective. Let it come to me, let it come to the cards. Let me explain the message that everyone can resonate with. And allow me to disconnect from that energy when it's needed, but also allow me to leave that energy in the cards and not take with me what's not mine. Let me just speak from my heart and my intuition, so motive be. Number 39, Internal Explorer. Internal Explorer. So this is a very, I wouldn't say cliche thing, right? But it's kind of self-explanatory to the point of getting to know thyself, right? But to what extent is this week going to be that a thing? Wow, okay, so this card is... Hi, Rike, how are you, baby? This card talks about this week falling into a flow and appreciating falling into a flow of collectiveness. Meaning really feeling in the vibe. Like, for those mutable signs, it might be a little bit easier because us mutable signs have an easier time just kind of shaping up to the situation, right? This card also talks about... I just forgot the last sentence. Hold on. This also talks about when we are lost in this flow, when we allow ourselves to surrender control, somehow this small contradiction of by surrendering control, we get to appreciate our own needs. Now, take this however you want, right? What does that tell me? Well, if I surrender and go with the flow, I might actually get to figure out in which part of my life I get to meet my emotional needs. Because if I'm just going left, right, left, right, left, right, I can realize that maybe I like to go left, right, but I like to go slow. Maybe I like to go left, right, but I like to go fast. Maybe I like to go left, right, but I like to take a break around each corner. So it's really about defining your own flow, exploring who you are this week, exploring what does it feel like to be a part of something bigger than yourself. That's pretty deep because it can work in a lot of things, right? It can work in your work environment. It could work on your life in general. It could work at school. It could work if you're a part of a tribe, if you're a part of a group, of a fellowship, if you're a part of a team, and just in your life in general, like I said. Okay, so collectively, that card talks a lot about what I just did right now. So what I did right now is that I tapped into the collective consciousness, and sometimes I go as far as tapping into the collective subconscious and shadow, right? That's where I do this readings from. So that's where I'm tapped in. So that card also talks about being good at tapping into that, and therefore deciding, how things are gonna go. It's almost like not manipulation, but knowing what the blueprint is, right? So we have the Devil upside down for this week. Okay. All right. Okay, all right. So here's the thing. We have the Devil upside down, and the Devil upside down is learning how to walk away from a lot of things, but also from a lot of things that are toxic to us, but also restraining a lot of our sexuality. And whether this is for good or for bad, right? Because it's all about balance. What someone that I look up to just a little bit, but through respect, told me one day, you gotta, what did he say? He said, you gotta find your freak ball, but that's not, he said, you gotta fly your freak flag high, right? That doesn't mean that you have to fly your freak high all the time. Hi, Diana. This card also talks about, as much as we are now able to stop this negative toxic patterns in our life, as much as we're able to do that, there's still a part of us that it gets a little clingy, a little dependent on stuff for money, right? Like, are we bringing our own bacon home? Are we expecting other people to give it to us, or do we expect to feel safe with other people around us? Do we always have that one person, that one thing, that we feel, or because we are the ones that always bring the bacon home, do we feel that we need a partner? Are we starting to need that? Like, it's kind of a tricky place to be at, right? Because it's almost like taking out this toxic behaviors that we used to have is leaving us feeling sort of an emptiness inside. And now we have the Justice card. And the Justice card is about bringing balance to life. It's about bringing balance to life. And it's about fairness and rational decisions, right? So it's almost like we need to go into this state. Now the Queen of Pentacles makes more sense, because it's like we leave the toxic behavior. We feel, I'm in San Diego, honey. Are you in San Diego, the Foot Lover? Because if you're in San Diego, I'm on my way, bitch. When we walk away from these toxic behaviors, and then we end up feeling a little empty inside, we start getting a little clingy in those around us. Do there we find the balance that we need? Do there we find, in this emptiness and hollowness, I'm gonna get you some fries. You're gonna give me some fries? Okay, thank you for the fries. Are you in San Diego? Anyway, let me leave that for later. That's personal. It's where we start making more rational decisions for ourselves, right? Putting in this kind of predicaments. Because we now no longer have those toxic patterns and addictive behaviors. Now we deal different with this emptiness that makes us feel clingy into certain things and dependent into certain things. And that is where we crave completely, right? Only if they're kind of bitch. Thank you. Now you're gonna have to bring fries for everyone. And let me tell you something. This motherfucker got some good fries. You haven't answered your question. Are you in San Diego though? Like, feed me a cheeseburger and I'm a happy bitch. So now that we're making decisions from this new places, when we get to create new narrow path waves. So on the places that we used to fuck up a lot making those decisions, now we get to create and we get to rewrite our scripture. right? With a new brain. We get to rewrite our own scripture, our own process of thinking. So the things that we used to fall for, like let's say that I'm a person that used to always fall for toxic dick, right? And I no longer fall for toxic dick, so I'm not replying to toxic dick texting me. But then I start getting lonely and a little clingy, and I start doing a little too much retail therapy, or something that is not that good, right? And I'm like, this is not normal. That's when the justice card comes in, and we start making more rational decisions. How do we go about it? What do we do then? Where do we put this out? Where do we put this energy at? Now, helping others is always a good thing, right? Helping others, allowing others to help us to make decisions that we need to make. Also, this card kind of takes away from where this three first cards were at, but also creates a distraction. So how do we distract ourselves? We distract ourselves by giving back to our community, right? Whether we want to go feed the homeless, whether we want to go sit down and have lunch with a homeless person, literally just ask them, be like, hey, can I sit down and have lunch with you? Bring them a fucking pizza or something, talking to people, whether it's going to, our own neighbor's house and doing her yard, or anything like along those lines that helps others. Whether it's with time, whether it's we want to call someone in need, whether it's we simply just want to go and look up small businesses in San Diego on Instagram and share the hell out of their stuff. We can do that in 10 minutes from our seat, right? So it'll, even though it feels like a little bit of, even though it feels like things are upside down, they're really not. That's what the card's telling me. Like during this week, it's gonna feel like things are upside down, but it's actually that everybody is learning how to defy gravity together. It's all about it's gonna be all about perspective, right? Like, how can I explain this better? It's going to seem like things are upside down, but the reality is that everybody has learned how to walk with their hands, and they're just doing a little dance trick, right? Like, everybody's learned a different skill or how to defy reality the way it should be, but it's going to be very unusual for all of us together with this group of people around us, whatever kind of group of people it is, to be able to all kind of match the same energy. And it's going to feel like things are falling out of place a little bit, but then you're going to kind of get the point. However, when it comes down to this King of Pentacles outside, this King of Pentacles outside is what that Four of Pentacles has been stopping us from for a long time. This King of Pentacles have been stopping us from caring too much about money, and here we go. This week is going to happen. It's going to happen when we fall into this state where it's just like money, 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 money. We need to hoard the money. We need to hoard the money. We need to hoard the money. Oh my God. For some of us might come from the fact that we feel like we can't sustain ourselves. So if we can't sustain ourselves, then I'm going to make money. However the fuck I got to make money. And fuck you. Right? Like, I'm going to get my money how I got to get my money. Kind of deal. Right? But remember, we do have the chance to make better decisions now. Decisions that make a more solid future. Decisions that make a more solid future. Okay? So, what do we have after that? We have the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is... it's like young intellect. It's like freshly learned stuff. It's like new rationality kind of deal. It's like new money, but it's new rationality. Towards the end of the week, there's going to be some pain coming up. It's going to feel like you have a lot to defend. It's going to feel like you have a lot of explanations to do. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, you go and get your money, you're going to get your money, you're going to do what you got to do. Okay, cool. Just don't make it too much of a deal. Don't allow yourself to go into a dark place because of all of this. right? Don't allow yourself to go into a dark place and going through a lot of the stuff that you're going to go through, especially when it comes down to finally being able to walk away from toxicness in your life and from addiction and from all of those things. It seems like the real core issue at everything, it's a heartbreak, right? It's a heartbreak. We're humans. That's our most weakest spot. Relationships, love. It just is. Okay? And at the end of the week, we're going to realize that we're finally heartbroken. It's like the acceptance part of the grief, where you finally just accept that shit hurted. And honestly, I'm ready for it. Like, it doesn't have to be a relationship. It doesn't have to, it could be something else, right? It could be like you lost your job, you lost your dog, you lost the bed, you lost your pencil. Like, grief, it comes in all ways. However, for me personally, I do feel like I haven't allowed myself to really hurt over my last relationship. I mean, like, just pushing aside and be like, nope, you're fine, keep going, keep moving. And then, like, I think about it, I'm like, okay, well, fine, we think about it, go. I just feel like there's a little more pain that I have to accept, right? Like, a little bit more of like fuck, that was shitty. I don't know. Or it might not be that, like, I'm really against love readings. Y'all fucking know me. Ask me for a fucking love reading, see what I tell you. But there is some kind of heartbreak. There is some kind of grief that we need to allow ourselves to go through. And, that could simply be an old self. Because there is a lot of a new self coming up that doesn't take those toxic decisions anymore, that makes more logical and balanced decisions. Even because this is the card of the Libra. Libras are all about one-on-one relationships as well, right? So we take better decisions when it comes down to all of that. Our psyche might just miss the person that we used to be, and accepting that that's no longer us, might feel like we're losing someone. Maybe accepting that I'm no longer a person who fears, that I now face the world the way that I feel it should be faced, right? Like, then, or that I know what I gotta do, kind of deal. It takes me out of that comfort zone, and it's scary, right? So whatever it is, that's it. I only have 20 minutes. I love y'all. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Where the fuck are my fries? Fuck are my fries at?